Okay, you've heard of death. You've heard of photography. But have you ever heard of people posing with dead relatives for a family photo? Welcome to the Victorian era, a time of weird fashion, weirder morals, and, apparently, corpse portraits. Yeah, this is real. Let's get into the bizarre and kinda beautiful world of post-mortem photography. So here's what happened. In the mid-1800s, photography was still brand new and expensive. Most families couldn't afford multiple portraits. So when someone died, especially a child, they'd hire a photographer to come over and take a final picture. But they didn't just photograph the body lying there. Nope. They dressed the person up in their finest clothes, sat them in a chair, sometimes even stood them up using wires or braces, and had them pose like they were still alive. They'd paint open eyes onto the photo, or literally onto the eyelids. In some cases, you can't even tell which person in the photo is deceased. Until someone points it out. To us, this sounds like a horror movie, but for Victorians, it was a way of coping with grief. Child mortality was high. Illness could take anyone. Photos were rare. So a post-mortem portrait was the only image a family might ever have of a loved one. They saw it as respectful, loving, even artistic. And remember, Victorians were obsessed with mourning. Black veils, hair jewellery, elaborate funeral etiquette. Death was practically a hobby. Some of the wildest photos? Kids posed like they're sleeping, surrounded by toys. Adults standing, propped up with stands. Group family shots with the deceased in the centre like it's Sunday brunch. And you know it's creepy when the living look more dead than the corpse. There are also hoaxes, people posing with someone who looks dead for the aesthetic. But the real ones? You'll know them when you see them. So, was this morbid? Yes. But was it also kind of the sweet? In an era before smartphones, selfies, or even consistent electricity, this was their way of preserving memory and love. We just post on Instagram. They posed with the dead. Thanks for watching, and if you made it through this without creeping yourself out too badly, hit that like button and subscribe for more strange stories from history. Because let's be honest, the past was weirder than we ever imagined. Like if you blinked twice at that open-eyed corpse. Subscribe for more bizarre true stories. Comment, creepier than modern filters if you made it to the end.